What's up everybody, Emperor John Keel 3D Gaming here with another review for you, and today it is on Warhammer 40K Boltgun. Now, my Warhammer Space Marine 2 review has been delayed for some time, but I'm still working on it. I also have to review Warhammer 40K Darktide, so just be braced for a lot of Warhammer content, not only through reviews, but live streams, so on. So, Warhammer 40K Boltgun. This game is amazing. It is quite literally, it is a boomer shooter, but with a modern control scheme and beautiful graphics. Like, the game looks beautiful for the graphics they go with the old school style. You know, you have plenty of levels to play through, and its recent DLC, Forges of Corruption. Now, what I learned about this game was this game takes place between Space Marine 1 and Space Marine 2, so I find it fitting that I should review this first, then Space Marine 2. Now, like I said, I may not know a lot of the story of Warhammer. I'm, a novice to the series, but the world of Warhammer 40K is fascinating. It's grim, it's dark, it's beautiful, its destruction is a sight to behold when you see these great battles, these wars, these alien creatures that are called Xenos, the chapter of different Space Marines. My personal favorite being the Blood Ravens and the Blood Angels. But Warhammer 40K is, you would say, it's easily accessible, but you have to do a lot of homework to understand what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong, it fits the bare basic needs of, I want to destroy something, I just want to purge, I want to fight, I want to blow something to smithereens, slice it apart, execute, exterminatus nuke from orbit. Every Warhammer game is a unique experience. We have RTS strategy games, we have third-person action games, we have first-person shooters, we have multiplayer games. The list of Warhammer is the list of games, and not only that, the real tabletop game itself, the lore books, any comics are out there. Warhammer 40K is everywhere, and from my understanding, a lot of people were surprised that I didn't know about Warhammer, and I would love to shout out my buddy Beatmaster AC for putting me on to this franchise. He put me on with Inquisitor Martyr and Space Hulk Deathwing, and then from there, I just fell in love with the series. Now, when you play this game, it's gonna take you back. Like, you're gonna feel like you just stepped back in time to the great shooters of old. To us back then, this is what games for early first-person shooters felt like to us. But I would like to say that even Doom, the original Doom, and Doom series, that yes, that at the time was the greatest first-person shooter, being the very first first-person shooter. But I think that Warhammer 40K in that style, because as you see, this is very reminiscent of the old Doom games, old Quake games, but I think Warhammer 40K is in fact better than those franchises and does its license even more justice. It's like you could set any style of game in the Warhammer universe and it would be epic. You could literally have the God Emperor himself killing Xenos while carrying a portable porta potty on his ass, shitting with every shot, and we would be behind him to support and take down heresy. The controls in this game are really good, very fast, very fluent. Hell, there's a dedicated button to taunt, and you know that it's a fucking amazing Warhammer game when you get to literally just press a button and they say glory to be to the Emperor, purge heresy, and glory to Ultramar, because you're playing as an Ultramarine. The weapons in this game are phenomenal. They are very much the weapons that you recognize from the Warhammer franchise, to the bolt guns, to the plasma casters, to anything you could think of that you remember in the arsenal of the Space Marine. It is here. Now, the one thing that this game has out of all Warhammer games, I feel that Warhammer 40K Boltgun is the most accessible game. And hell, I might not be a newcomer that much anymore. I'm at least versed enough to understand, though I'm not a professional at the series or the lore. I would say if someone is trying to get into Warhammer that's from that generation that never got into it, like whether they were distracted by other franchises, because at the time when Warhammer was starting to develop in its early days, hell, I was just getting into franchises like Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat, Star Wars. My brain was already distracted with a lot of other things. But I feel that this game right here is the most easily accessible game to get any newcomer into the world of Warhammer 40K. This game has a very simple premise, very simple story. You'll pick up on it like that, but you're going to be in awe of the environments, the beauty of this world, the horrific beauty of everything in it. The bosses are tough, the enemy types are unique. There's plenty of enemy types in this game. Like, there is no shortage of enemy types. Finding the right weapon to do the job, because not all the time is the one weapon you will get accustomed to gonna save you in every situation. There's different types of grenades. There's also the chain sword that you could rev it up and do extensive melee damage. You can dodge. You can just do anything you can, or anything you're familiar with these old school first person shooter games. You will feel familiar with this one. But here, it just feels, you will lose time. That's what it feels like. You will lose yourself into this world. And when you come to think about it, the game is not the longest game in the Warhammer series by far, by any of the game standards, but you feel like you were playing this game for you'll be sitting there for hours realizing time just went by and wow, what the hell? And you put so much time and effort to kill these enemies, to get to the next level. It has that, okay, I can do one more level mentality. There's 3 chapters divvied up into 7 levels each. Then there is the DLC, which is 5 levels. But the difficulty in which you choose to play the game determines how long you will keep playing it, whether you have to replay levels or go through. This game has really good replayability. It has Horde mode, which came with the DLC Forces of Corruption. And Forces of Corruption is actually a really good expansion. It extends the game by a long shot. It makes it even more intriguing to go through. And the fact that you're also playing something that takes place between 2 of the best Warhammer games, Space Marine and Space Marine 2, you would at least get a sense of what you're getting into by Space Marine 2 by playing this one. Where Space Marine 2 is a third-person action shooter, this one is obviously a first-person shooter. But you won't feel the difference, and you won't feel out of place jumping from this game to that game. You'll at least feel, okay, I know where I'm at, I know where I stand, I can do this type scenario. The one thing I wish this game could have, and it would have benefited from, but it's not a slight against the game by no means, I would have think that it could have benefited from the recent Doom 1 and 2 re-releases that allows up to 16 people to play together in story mode. I think it's 8 to 16 people. At least in this, have a co-op partner with you. Maybe 2 to 4 Space Marine brothers with you going through this, because the challenge in this game is very, very difficult. So that's all I really got to say about Warhammer 40K Boltgun. It's not my longest review, but the thing is, the game's very straightforward. You'll get into it very easily. You'll just have a blast playing it. So that's all I really got to say. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, and I'll catch you on the next live stream in the next video. This is Emperor John Kill 3D signing off. See you later.